There is a wave moving through the country right now that could take hundreds or even thousands of dollars off your property tax bill, but only if you are 65 or older, and only if you know it exists. In just the last few months, a string of states has voted to cut, freeze, or even refund property taxes for senior homeowners. 3 of them passed brand new laws this year alone. But here is the catch that quietly costs seniors the most money. Almost none of this is automatic. Every single year, a large share of this relief goes completely unclaimed, simply because the people who qualify never filed for it. So stick with me to the end, because I am going to tell you which states just made the list, the kind of money we are talking about, and the one deadline that decides whether you actually get it. Let me explain why this is suddenly happening. Property taxes are one of the cruelest bills in retirement, because they keep climbing long after your paycheck stops. For a senior living on a fixed income, a rising tax bill can be the thing that forces you out of a home you already own free and clear. States are finally responding, and they are doing it in 3 different ways. Some are slashing the exemption, the chunk of your home's value that cannot be taxed. Some are freezing your bill so it never goes up again. And some are simply mailing you a check. The amounts are not small either. In some states, a senior saves a few $100s a year, but in others, the right exemption can erase the entire bill. Let me start with the 3 biggest, freshest moves, then run through the rest so you can find yours. First, Texas. The state just supercharged its break for seniors. Last November, Texas voters approved a measure that raised the extra homestead exemption for homeowners 65 and older from $10,000 all the way up to $60,000. Stack that on top of the new general exemption of $140,000, and an eligible senior now gets $200,000 of their home's value shielded from school property taxes. And because seniors in Texas already have their school taxes frozen, this means the average over 65 homeowner now owes little or nothing in school property tax at all. Picture a retired couple in a modest home. Before this change, they still got a school tax bill every single year. Now, in many districts, that line on the bill simply reads 0. We are talking about savings of $900 a year or more. And best of all, if you already have your homestead and over 65 exemption on file, it is applied automatically. You do not have to reapply. Second, New Jersey, the state with some of the highest property taxes in the entire country. New Jersey just launched a brand new program called Stay NJ. It reimburses eligible homeowners aged 65 and older for up to half of their property tax bill, capped at $6,500 a year, as long as your income is under $500,000. The first checks started going out in February of this year, and they arrive in quarterly payments, not one lump sum. Now here is the catch, and it is a big one. Stay NJ is not automatic. You have to file the state's new combined application, called the PAS-1, which signs you up for Stay NJ, the Senior Freeze, and the Anshore program all at once. The deadline falls in early November, and if you miss it, you get nothing. Third, New York. In December, New York raised the cap on its senior citizens' property tax exemption from 50% all the way up to 65% of your home's assessed value. That is the first increase to that limit since 1966. But pay close attention to this part because it trips people up. It is a local option. Your town, your county, and your school district each have to vote to actually offer the higher 65% break, and you have to fall under the income limit they set. So the single most useful thing you can do is call your local assessor and ask one simple question. Have you adopted the new 65% senior exemption? Where it is in place, it stacks right on top of the enhanced STAR benefit. Now let me move faster because the list keeps going. Montana overhauled its whole system this year with a new homestead exemption that shifts the tax burden off of primary residences and onto vacation homes and short-term rentals, but you may need to file by March 1st to lock it in. Missouri passed a law, now adopted by roughly 85 counties, that lets your county freeze your property tax bill the moment you turn 62, so it never climbs again. The key is checking whether your specific county opted in. Pennsylvania expanded its property tax and rent rebate, raising the maximum rebate to $1,000 for homeowners with income up to $45,000. Illinois raised the income limit on its senior freeze starting this year, letting more retirees lock in their home's taxable value. And Wyoming just put a measure on the November ballot to cut residential property taxes in half, on top of recent relief aimed at its longtime senior homeowners. And if you still have not heard your state, do not assume you are out of luck, because more than a dozen states now offer seniors some version of this. States like Arizona, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Idaho, and Louisiana let qualifying seniors freeze their bill in place. Others, from Connecticut and Michigan to Kansas, South Dakota, and Tennessee, hand you a credit or a rebate check instead. The honest truth is that nearly every state has something for homeowners 65 and up. The problem is that the age rules, the income limits, and the deadlines are different in every single one, which brings me back to that catch, the one that costs seniors the most. Almost none of this lands in your lap. Most of these programs make you apply, prove your age and income, and beat a deadline, and every year a staggering amount of relief simply goes unclaimed because nobody filed the paperwork. So do 3 things this week. First, call your county assessor's office, or go to your state's Department of Revenue or Taxation website and ask flat out which senior programs you qualify for. Second, write down the deadline the moment you hear it, because many of them land on March 1st, on June 30th, or sometime in the fall. And third, get this information only from the official source, your assessor or your state's website, never from a stranger who calls or mails you offering to sign you up for a fee. So here is the bottom line. A wave of states is cutting property taxes for seniors right now, from Texas erasing school taxes, to New Jersey mailing checks worth thousands, to New York's new 65% break. But every dollar of it only reaches the people who actually claim it. Check your state this week, before the next deadline slips past you. We track these programs as they roll out, state by state, so subscribe, and you will know the moment yours adds a new one, or expands what it already offers. And if you want the full list of deadlines and income limits for the biggest senior benefits hitting this year, that video is on your screen right now. Watch it next, so you never leave money sitting on the table that was meant for you.